So as most of you know, last year I lost 100 pounds, building a business for 30 some years, and I gained about 3 pounds a year, basically. And I got to a point where I was dissatisfied with being overweight, on 6 medications for high blood pressure and high cholesterol, basically miserable, lethargic, and swelled up. My legs were swelled up, ankles swelled up, miserable. So I became dissatisfied, and I set a goal, and I said, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, and I'm not going to do it with any pills or any surgery. So it took me just less than 9 months. I started like October 23rd of 23, and July 3rd, I weighed in, and had lost like 100.2 pounds. So, I was very pleased. I'm feeling so much better. And of course, along the way, I started working out, with Larry Pacifico. I've had him on my show. He was a 9-time world champion. He, powerlifter, and he held somewhere around 54 or 56, world records in his day. I think he still holds one. But anyway, and he's like 78 or 79 years old. Anyway, as I got into working out, I started reading about, more health and nutrition with bodybuilders. I don't want to be bulk. I've been bulk all my life, except when I was younger. In the Marine Corps, I was a lot leaner. And if I would have just maintained that, I would have been a lot better off. But anyway, it's not what we're talking about today, but I had to set the stage for where we're going with this, because I studied a guy named Frank Zane, and basically Frank held the title of Mr. Olympia in 1977, 1978, and 1979, and one of those years he beat out Arnold Schwarzenegger for the Mr. Olympia. He was only 5'9". He weighed about $185. He was extremely lean, and he did things totally different than most bodybuilders in his day, and especially today. So we're going to compare a little bit here. We're not just we are talking business. This has everything to do with growing your business. Trust me. Hang in there. Don't stop yet. But we're moving it. We're mixing it rather with old school bodybuilding from Frank Zane, how his approach was to sculpting a championship physique. And it teaches us a couple things: how to lead better, how to build a company better, and live with faith-driven focus. He was extremely focused. He's still alive, by the way. I think he's 81 or 82 years old. He's still in excellent shape. Doesn't look anything like he did, of course, but he's excellent shape for 81, 82 years old. And I wouldn't be surprised if Larry Pacifico doesn't know him. Probably worked out with him or hung around him or something, because he knew a lot of those guys back then. But anyway, many in bodybuilding and business, they want fast results. I have talked about this. I have preached this to many, many business owners. Fast growth will take you under faster than lack of capital. I believe that. It's proven time and time and time again. Very few people can do it well. Very, very few. We're probably talking between 1% and 3%, and that's it. The other 97% cannot grow fast. They don't know how to handle it. They don't have the resources. They don't have the capital. They don't have the experience to do it. So Frank was not in a hurry growing his body. He was not in a hurry. It was not a race to Frank. It was gradually. He talks about this a lot. He went about it more gradually. And he didn't bulk up. He didn't believe in bulking up. He said, I bulked up one time and I was a mess. He gained 20 pounds and he said it took me longer to lose it than what it was worth. And he didn't eat a lot. He actually fasted for a bodybuilder. He would fast. He would eat breakfast, a good solid breakfast, something like, in case you're working out, he ate like one gram of protein per pound that he weighed and a half gram of carbohydrates for every pound he weighed. And that's what he did. So if he weighed 200 pounds, he would eat 200 grams protein and 100 grams of carbs. But he would go from breakfast, he might not eat again. If he ate at 7 a.m., he might not eat again until 1 or 2. And then he'd eat a light lunch, and it would be extremely healthy. And then he might not eat again till 5 or 6. And then he wouldn't eat again. So he kept an extremely narrow waist. It was almost scientific to the point of his body. And we're going to talk about growing a business like scientifically, thinking about this, not just doing things and touching things and answering phones and taking calls and not even knowing why they're calling you, not understanding the concept of why they chose you out of all the companies in your area. Why did they choose you rather? That is very important. I always focused on stuff like that. I wanted to know, why did they call me? And every phone that rang here was always an opportunity, and it still is today. That phone ringing is an opportunity because they could have chose any of the 500 or more of heating and air, plumbing, electric companies in my area. They could have chose any of those to call, but they chose to call me. Why? I studied that. That was a metric for me. That was a KPI for me. That I was very interested in that. The branding and the marketing side of things, I was very, very interested in. And I studied that, just like Frank studied how to have the best body. So that's what we're going to talk about today, how to have the best business, understanding why, and focusing on slower growth, which will take you to success that you won't believe over a period of time. Hey, this is Greg McAfee, and welcome to the Greg McAfee Show. Now let's get started. Hey, welcome back to the Greg McAfee Show, where we discuss steps to successful entrepreneurship. If you're in business and you own a business, you're supposed to be an entrepreneur. And that's what we teach. We help you get to the next level of entrepreneurship, of business, of growth. And I never teach it fast. It's always healthy, slow growth. That's what got me here. You might go a little faster than me, but not much if you want to be around in 10, 20, 30, 35 years. So today we're discussing slow growth, strong roots. You want to say roots or roots, whatever you say, but slow growth, strong roots. It's powerful. So Frank Zane, he was a beast. He understood his body. He studied his body. He studied what he ate, what he put in his body. He studied how he worked out. He was not in it for heavy bulk weights. He actually worked out as a bodybuilder. He worked out with lighter weights than anyone else. He didn't believe in heavy, bulky weights. He liked the lighter weights. While others went from mass and shock value, Zane focused on proportion, symmetry, and balance. He was focused all the time. He knew what he wanted to look like. He could put his mind into each muscle he was working on. What's that have to do with my business, Greg? You should be able to put your mind in each department. You should put your mind in each service you're providing. Why are you providing it? How do you want it to be provided? What do you want it to look like? What do you want your whole business to look like? What do you want your team to look like? Are they professional looking? Are they clean, crisp, ready to knock on that first door, ready to knock on that last door? We carry clean shirts and clean pants in our trucks just in case we get too dirty. It's not fair to customer number 5 or 6 or 7 to look like crap when you look crisp and clean, hopefully, for number one customer. It's not fair to them. We need to look crisp, clean. I know what I want to look like. I know what my team, I want them to look like. I know what I want my building to look like, my office to look like, my front desk to look like, my front area. First impressions, very important. I know what my warehouse looks like. It's crisp, clean. The floors are sealed. They're shiny. They're clean. The sheet metal shop, you can eat off the floor. There's never shavings, metal shavings, or all that kind of stuff. Don't allow that. I know what my trucks look like. They're cleaned. They're normal. They're supposed to be cleaned a couple times a week, inside, outside. No stuff on the dash. It's for a purpose. It's for a reason. Frank trained for a reason. You know, in leadership, it's not about being the loudest or the biggest, the largest company in the room. It's about building a balance, a well-structured machine, people, processes, products, and purpose. I want you to think about that. People, process, product, and purpose. It has to be balanced. It has to be well-structured. You know, I call this the clean version. I try to tie in biblical points to my podcasts, and God isn't impressed by flashy stuff. He's not impressed by fast growth. He honors structure all through the Bible. There's multiple examples. He honors structure. He honors discipline, and he honors order. There's got to be order to your company. People need to know that when they come in, there's structure, there's order. If it's chaotic, it's not going to last. Not too many people will put up with no order, no systems, lack of culture building. 1 Corinthians 14:40 says, let all things be done decently and in order. There's got to be order to your business. And I say, don't just build to impress. Build to last. I'm not trying to impress anyone. If I do, that's fine. If a company that's only 5 years old, they come here and they visit and they're very impressed, that's okay. I'm not trying to impress them. We don't clean for them. We don't do anything different. When they come here, it's the way it is every single day. I'm not trying to impress anyone. There's order. There's structure. So I build things to last. This thing has lasted solid for 35 years. Most every year we've grown. It's not been a race for me. I'm not in it for the short run. I'm in it for the long haul. I've done many podcasts on that. And the loudest leader rarely lasts the longest. I've watched them come and go time and time and time again. I just noticed the other day that this guy left me. I don't know. He sued me. We ended up settling. He sued me for something ridiculous, like he wasn't allowed to take lunches. He was an installer, and he sued me for I don't know, $300,000. We settled out for $10,000. He started his own heating and air company. He lasted less than 3 months. This was probably 8 years ago. I just seen his sign in a yard the other day. So I Googled it. Sure enough, he's back in business for the second time. I'm like, who did he have to sue this time to get enough money to start his own company for the second time? We'll see how long he lasts this time. But he's loud. He's loud. And he won't last. All right. Next, Frank Zane used light weights, like I said, with precision. He proved you don't need heavy weights to create an impact. You need consistency and perfect form. He knew how to lift with perfect form. You don't need to burn out or do everything in your company. If you do plumbing You don't have to do HVAC right away. You don't have to add electric. If you do electric, you don't have to add plumbing. If you do HVAC, you don't have to add electric. You can when the time is right, but it's not a race. It does not, a lot of times you lose money. I have coached companies that were into so much stuff, it's unreal. 5 or 6 different areas. And 1 or 2 of the areas were actually profitable. The other 3 or 4 were losing money. So it drained the entire company. My question was, how long are you going to do this and drain your profits? If you were to stop doing these, you would be extremely profitable, and then you could focus on those things you do best and make money on. It's that simple. Why are you hanging on to things that are draining you? Is it an ego thing? Is it a comfort thing? Is it a, my dad did it this way thing? I have no idea. Let go. You know, watch Frozen the movie. Let it go. Let it go. It's that simple. Let it go. So, Jesus never rushed, but he didn't lag behind either. And he moved with purpose and clarity. And if you want to run a successful business, you have to move with purpose and clarity. You don't have to run. It is not a race. Slow growth, strong roots. When you look at the cover of this thing, of this podcast, you're going to see a smaller tree with longer, stronger roots under it. I'll put it up here right now. That tree is going to last forever. But when you see a big tree with short roots, it's not going to last. We just had a windstorm come in, 9,500 mile an hour winds the other day. It took down one of my trees. It had short roots. They were not strong. In my backyard, they were not strong. The trees that have the deeper roots lasted. They did not blow over. Your company's the same way. Jesus never rushed. Nothing was ever a race. Many times people were upset with him because he didn't get there fast enough. But he's always on time. And Psalms 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Be still. Slow down. We're just 100 mile an hour so many days that we can't even focus on what's going on, and we're touching things all the time. Be still and know that I am God. Psalms 46:10. And I say, you don't need to be loud or fast, but you need to be right and consistent. And consistency in my book is one of the keys to my success of 35 years. I'm very, very, very consistent. I've got a plan. I model the plan. I teach the plan. We do the plan. We don't get off course very often. If we do, we reel back in, we get back on track, and we're consistent, and we keep going. Frank Zane also had unshakable mental focus. He was extremely focused. I talked about this the other day, laser focused. There's a difference between focused and laser focused. He believed the mind-muscle connection was everything, and he visualized it. He visualized focus and never trained being distracted. If he got distracted, he would leave the gym, refocus, and go back to the gym. He could not train. If something was happening in his life that was causing him to get off track, he couldn't work out. He'd actually go to the beach for a while, get refocused, and then go back to the gym. Great leaders don't just show up. They should focus, laser focus. They should visualize. They should stay mentally sharp, and they should lead intentionally. It is so important, and I see companies that don't do this every single day. They lead by the seat of their pants. They don't know what's next. They don't plan for what's next. They just take what's next, what's coming down the pike now. They have no idea. No idea. And it's sad because so many companies have talent. The ones that go out of business, they had talented owners, smart owners, some highly educated owners, but they didn't have that focus. They didn't have that consistency. So leaders who show up and stay focused and lead with intention last longer. How long? I don't know. Mark Swepston's company, Atlas Butler in Columbus, Ohio, has lasted, I don't know. I should have looked this up, but I think it's over, is it over 100 years now? Is it 80? It's between 85 and 100 years. Man, it's solid company. So you can't visualize where you're going. You'll never get there. You'll never lead anyone there if you can't visualize where you're going. I have visualized every building I built. I have visualized every truck I bought in my first days. I could see it. I visualized the empty lot next to me. It had trees on, full of trees. I visualized the building sitting on it and the parking lot and the pond next to it and how trucks were going to come in and around the building. Everything was visualized. I would sit here. We would stop by here after church on Sundays, and we would sit out there and I would just visualize for an hour. I'd visualize this company. And we only had 4 or 5 employees at the time still working out of a garage. I visualized that garage looking out the back window of my little 800 square foot ranch. I visualized that garage. 24 by 24 split down the middle, half office, half warehouse. I visualized that. We worked out of there less than 7 years, and that last year we almost did $1 million in sales, strictly residential replacement and service. And we had air duct cleaning for 4 years of that time. So you got to have that. You got to have that vision. Your business will never grow beyond your vision. And Proverbs 29:18 says this, where there is no vision, the people will perish. Your business will go under without a vision. And I just did the word of the day. It's kind of funny. The word of the day today on Facebook. If you don't follow me on Facebook. I've got a lot of stuff happening on Facebook and Instagram. Follow me. It's free. But the word of the day today was obscurity. Frank Zane trained in obscurity. He wasn't a showboat. He trained when no one was watching. He wasn't there to be watched. He perfected his craft in silence. Leaders who succeed spend time getting better when others are sleeping or scrolling online. Oh, that's so good. They invest in their quiet time, their quiet seasons. I'm no one special. No one special. I'm just a heating and air guy. I didn't go to college. I went in the Marine Corps. I sucked in school. I graduated with a 1.6 grade average. I barely graduated high school because I hated school. I had a terrible vocabulary. I'm no one special. I didn't come from money. No one ever invested $10 in my company and said, "Here, let me help you." No one. Zero. Nada. I didn't have name recognition. When I started McAfee Heating and Air, there was no McAfee Virus Company. I didn't grow up in this area. I had zero name recognition. So I didn't have much. But leaders who succeed spend time getting better when others are sleeping. I'm in here. If I'm not in the gym by 5:30, I'm in here by 5 a.m. I'm focusing on my day. I'm reading my Bible. I'm doing my devotions. And I'm not telling you that for any credit. This is what I do. This is how I stay focused. This is how I stay grounded. And this is how I gain wisdom. You read the book of Proverbs 150 times, I guarantee you're going to gain some wisdom. And I challenge you to do that. There's 31 books in Proverbs. And most months have 31 days. Read one chapter of Proverbs every day and then start over every month. Start over. Just keep reading, keep reading, keep reading. You will gain more wisdom in your life. All right? So he trained in obscurity. Matthew 6:4 says, your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. And I say, what you do when no one watching determines who you are when everyone is watching. Powerful. Number 5, Zane believed in sculpting, not stacking. He didn't throw on more weight. He shaped with precision. He wasn't just building mass. He was creating art. He looked at his body as a piece of art, and he sculptured it on purpose. I look at my business as a piece of art, and I've sculptured it to last. People come from all over to see it. They want to see what we're doing different. It's not that we're doing 100 million a year. That does not matter to me. We are one of the most profitable companies in the nation, percentage-wise. We're in the top 5% of a small business. How? I'm sculpturing it. I'm focused on it. I get it. I get that. I've learned over time. I've read about 1,200 books now. I'm studying it. I'm focused on it. I'm consistently doing it. I train often. Sorry. I had to get that out of the way. All right. Stop stacking distractions in your business and side hustles. Oh my gosh. I don't even go there. That's another half-hour show right there. Side hustles. I can't stand side hustles. Start sculpting a business with meaning. Do less, better. Write that down. If you're not driving, write that down. Do less, better. You'll be more successful later. Ephesians 2:10 says, we are his workmanship created in Christ Jesus for good works. You are God's masterpiece. Your business can be too. If you treat it like something you're entrusted to shape, not just scale, you'll be better off. Shape that thing. Focus on it. Scaling's great, but you got to shape it first. You got to know how to get it there. You got to know where it's going. You got to know what causes it. You got to know why people call you. One of my quotes is, build a business that looks like it's shaped by a craftsman. Be meticulous, not thrown together in a hurry. I just don't have much respect for someone who starts a business to grow it real fast and sell it. More power to you. You'll probably spend the money faster than you grew your company. So if it took you 5 years to get to 10 million to sell it or 100 million to sell it, you'll probably be broke within 4 years. All right, wrapping it up here. Frank Zane didn't win by doing what everyone else did. He was not worried about what everyone else did. He won by knowing exactly who he was, what he valued, and what his goals were. In business and faith, the same applies. If you will apply this in your life and your business and everything else you do, you will be more successful than you can comprehend and believe. Don't lift heavy just to prove something. There's so many people trying to prove something. What are you trying to prove? You're trying to prove things to people they don't even like you. Lift right, lead well, shape a life that honors God and impacts others. Here's some challenges for you this week. Focus on an area of your business that needs sculpting. Ask yourself, am I leading with precision or just piling things on? Is my desk all piled up and I can't find anything? Is my receptionist or my assistant's desk all piled up? If it is, you got the wrong assistant. And make sure your confidence is rooted deeply in who you are ultimately serving. Man. Whew. If I were you, I'd replay this thing and watch it again and again and again. Because I must say, the content of this thing, regardless if it came from me or Steve Jobs wrote it 30 years ago, it is good. It will help you. It will get you to that next level, whatever that level is for you. It will take you to new heights and make you stronger and more stable and more grounded than you've ever been. So before we wrap up, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. Please hit that like button. I appreciate knowing you like this thing. We've got thousands of viewers and listeners. You can't listen to this whole thing and not like it. So please hit that like button. It's very simple. You just click on that little like button right there. And if you want to leave a comment, that's awesome. Definitely helps our algorithms. You can also support this podcast by rating and reviewing on iTunes or your preferred listening platform. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. There's lots of stuff going on at The Greg McAfee Show. No spaces, no underscores. Look me up personally on my personal Facebook page and follow me. You will get the words of the day. You will get a Bible verse every day, and you will get a motivational quote every day, and they all tie in together with the word of the day. Be sure to tune in next week. I've got some good stuff happening next week. Thanks for listening, and as always, carry on. God bless. Make this day the best day of your life, because we're not promised tomorrow. I'll see you later.